Well, hello guys, and welcome back to another reaction slash commentary video. So I have seen a few things in the news recently. One of them is about Margot Robbie. So I actually did a short not too long ago, and it was about the reaction to Margot Robbie stepping out in Paris Fashion Week. A lot of people are saying that she looks too gaunt and that maybe she's on Ozempic. And I don't know, I had my own thoughts about it, so I thought we would just revisit that. Then, of course, there's this article just about celebs in general on the red carpet, how they're all looking too thin. So I thought we would touch on that. And then, of course, there was Jillian Michaels on Jubilee. And I know a few of you have asked me to react to that. I thought we would watch a little bit of that and just hear my thoughts on it. I have actually not watched it yet. I know it's like a 2-hour video, so we probably won't get to watch all of it, but I thought that would be kind of fun to talk about. So, with that being said, let's get right into it. Okay, so first let's talk about Margot Robbie. So this is the title of the article: Margot Robbie's unrecognizable new face explained. Top plastic surgeon claims some types of surgical intervention caused ghoulish transformation. So here is the picture. I guess supposedly this is the before and the after. So honestly, like I said in the short, just judging by these pictures, number one, some of these pictures, I think this one was from the Barbie movie, which was quite a few years ago now. And then this one is her recently. Honestly, like, I think the appearance, the ghoulish appearance, they say, "Oh, she looks too skinny." I don't know. I personally don't think so. I think that has more to do with the fact that she's 35 years old and your face naturally loses like fat in that area as you age. Okay. I've seen it happen with my own face. It is just kinda is what it is. I think her bone structure, like, I mean, again, you can tell here, like, different lighting, different makeup, that makes a huge difference as well, okay? So, I don't know, I think people are trying to make these claims of, like, Ozempic use and surgery. I honestly don't believe either of those. I mean, maybe Ozempic, she might be a little bit skinnier than, she was even when she was doing the Wuthering Heights, promotion, but I honestly don't really think so. Again, here we have, the pictures you're comparing it to. She's more tan in this picture. It could be from more than a few years ago. She might be a little bit heavier. She actually looks like she might be there. But I wasn't she also just pregnant kind of recently too? And now she's lost the weight. So yeah, I don't know. Me personally, I think that just looks like natural aging. I don't see any signs of that kind of surgery. I mean, has she had some stuff done? I'm sure. I don't like, if they're talking about the buccal fat removal, I don't see that. So that is just my opinion. I really just think it's a different look, it's different lighting. And these pictures that people are comparing it to, like some of the other pictures that people were using to compare her to, were like literally pictures of her when she was like 25 years old. And it's like, yeah, your face does not look the same at 25 years old as it does at 35. That's just what happened. It's just called the natural aging process. And like here we go. Here's a picture of her body. People are saying, "Oh, she looks too skinny." Actually, Megan Kelly, is it Megan Kelly? Yeah, Megan Kelly made some kind of a short or video about that too, like, which we'll watch that in a little bit because that's kind of interesting coming from Megan Kelly. But she's claiming, she's just you can barely see her. She's just gotten too skinny. I personally, I don't think she looks too skinny there. I think she looks fine. She looks good. I don't think she looks any different than she did when she was promoting Wuthering Heights recently. I just think it's almost like, and then claiming that, oh, it's the surgery. It looks so bad. Her cheeks look so hollowed out. Like, well, damn. Thanks from all the women who are choosing to age naturally. And, that's just kind of what happens. I mean, I think that people are so just not used to seeing natural women's faces anymore that, like, God forbid, Margot Robbie don't get face filler. All right. And she's a relatively thin woman. She is a thin woman and she doesn't get face filler. That's kind of what happens. She's 35 years old. All right. That's how, that's just what happens when you get older. You start to naturally lose that baby fat in your face. So it's also just kind of like, not only do I think the claims are false, I also just think that it's kind of rude. It's like, well, you're pretty much proving why women get so much plastic surgery to begin with, because no matter what a woman does, if she comes out in her natural face, if she comes out with too much plastic surgery, people have something to say about it. So no wonder these celebrities don't want to age. No wonder they go and get all the plastic surgery because people will crucify them. So I really don't blame them. I wouldn't blame her, even if she did get some kind of surgery, because yeah, again, no matter what she does, people will crucify her. They'll say all kinds of things about her. So I get why people do things. Again, we're comparing just different makeup and lighting. I can tell you lighting makes a huge difference. It really does. Anyway, yeah, I just thought that that was interesting. That just seemed to be such like a big news story. I think she still looks really good, and I don't think that it's a case of using Ozempic. I mean, possibly, who knows? Everyone could be on Ozempic now in Hollywood, but I don't know. I don't think it's like an example of like someone getting way too skinny and skeletal. I just don't see it. Okay, now here's this short that Megyn Kelly did about the Margot Robbie thing, and I just think it's kind of comical. Okay, so here we go.
I saw Margot Robbie in person 2 years ago. I was at this media event out in Utah. It was very interesting, and here we are, the two of us together. She looks amazing. This is her, like, relatively unmade up. Both of us had a little makeup on, but not a lot. We were at this event, and we looked like two normal humans there, right? Two normal women next to each other. It was an honor to meet her. She just showed up at a fashion show, and she looks absolutely skeletal. Hold on, I'm trying to get my note in exactly where she is. I found it. She is Paris Fashion Week at the Chanel show. Look at her. This is actually sad to me. She has lost the slight, ever so slight fullness that was in her face before. Now she's got the sunken cheek. And I don't know if that is, they say all these Hollywoods are getting that buccal fat removal from their faces, which obviously she did not need. Or the speculation online is that this is Ozempic, that she decided this is her on the right looking normal and stunning. And this is her on the left looking skeletal at the Chanel show. Many questioning now whether she's taking the weight loss drugs. I don't know what the answer is. It's never enough. That's the bottom line. It's never enough for these Hollywood celebrities. Margot Robbie's not ripping on the United States, at least that I know of. So that's to her credit. But this is one of the dangers in letting your child get sucked into the Hollywood madness.
Okay, anyway, and then she goes on about, whatever. Um, I does anyone see why I brought this up? I'm sorry, but Megyn Kelly, she's going on about Margot Robbie looking skeletal and too skinny and losing the fullness in her face. It's like calling the kettle black here. Is that the right term I'm looking for? And I don't say this to be mean to Megyn Kelly. She's fine. She's a beautiful woman, whatever. She's in her 50s, I think. She's very, very tiny. Okay, talking about, oh, people wanting to be too skinny. She's calling Margot Robbie, oh, oh, she's got sucked into the Ozempic thing. Megyn, I'm sorry. Do you look in the mirror? Okay, like I'm sorry. You're also very tiny. I think you're tinier than Margot Robbie. And you want to talk about losing the fullness in your face? Again, not trying to be mean. It's happening to me too because I'm a 35-year-old woman. Megyn, your face looks a lot different than it used to too. So I just think it's just kind of weird. And it's funny, a lot of people in the comments were agreeing. Like, you're trying to out this celebrity, Margot Robbie, is looking skeletal and this and that. When number one, I think it is just lighting and makeup. But like, you don't really have a lot of ground to stand on. Like, I just think that this was a weird thing for her to comment on because I'm sorry. I think that is one of the first things you notice about Megyn Kelly is that she is also very, very thin herself. I don't know. I just thought that was kind of comical. Okay, this next article we have. Stylists fear Hollywood stars are blind to how skinny they really are, while health experts warns of new malnutrition and muscle waste. Okay, so I've made different videos about this not too long ago about how, oh, like the Ozempic epidemic in Hollywood and people are freaking out because people are getting too thin. And in previous videos, look, at least at that time, I was trying to find like all these celebrities that they were saying were getting way too scarily thin because a lot of them were just celebrities who were already overweight to begin with. And yeah, they took Ozempic and they lost weight, like Lizzo, like Amy Schumer, like Mindy Kaling, okay, Rebel Wilson, celebrities that were overweight to begin with. Okay. So when they lost weight, people are freaking out. Oh, body positivity's over, blah, blah, blah. They're too thin now. I don't know what to tell you now. They're just a normal size. I guess people just don't know what a normal size is like. Anyway, so I always think that these articles are interesting because I do feel like there is like fear mongering among some of these people when a celebrity walks out and dares to not be fat. It's like, oh my God, they must have a problem. Oh, this is such a horrible epidemic. And I never know what they consider too skinny right? Versus what is actually too skinny. But I'm also not going to deny that for sure. I think that some people have problems with this. Like I did another short recently about one of the Mormon Wives reality star, I think Leanna Taylor or Layla Taylor. And she said she was 5'10 and 99 pounds, which is very, very underweight. And she said it was partially because she did have an ED, always had an ED since high school. And now she's on Ozempic. And she said it's just easier for her to now continue her ED, right? Because it's like ED person's like best dream is to have something that just makes you not hungry. So for sure, I think there are people abusing it, and yeah, so I'm not at all saying that there are not actresses and people who are not too thin. So let's talk about it. I think the first one I've seen this recently is Emma Stone. People are saying Emma Stone is looking a lot differently, and she's looking a lot skinnier. As far as I know, I think Emma Stone has always been pretty thin, but she does. I admit in this picture right here. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit. Yeah, I mean, she does look very thin. Okay. She looks like a little bit thinner than she already was, and she was already pretty thin. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that is intentional and she's on kind of GLP-1s. But let's see, let's read a little bit of this article. This Hollywood award season, size 00 fits all. The pendulum has swung from Kardashian curves and sculpted Pilates physiques to pin thin silhouettes. With celebrities like Emma Stone, Demi Moore, and Jenna Ortega shocking viewers on red carpets of the Actor Awards and Golden Globes. No wonder actress Jamila Jamil, I don't know if I like her. I think she annoys me. Who has spoken openly about her own struggle with disordered eating, called out scarily thin women at last month's BAFTAs, saying on Instagram, "Everyone looks like they could snap. It's a specifically fragile type of thin." Okay, and here's another picture. Have to compare like older pictures of Emma Stone. Um, I mean, yeah, because I just don't know what she looked like before. Or was she that much bigger before? She could have been. Multiple sources told Page Six that even already thin stars are now taking so called microdoses or baby doses of Ozempic or other weight loss jabs that are smaller quantities than the FDA approved therapeutic dosage. Typically, patients start at 0.25 milliliter injections for the first month and increase them there. There's a stigma now to having any weight, one stylist and former Vogue editor told Page Six. Yeah, so I think that's something that a lot of people are doing. I mean, we know they've been doing this, but taking like microdoses long term to just keep their appetite suppressed for like forever. A drug that was originally meant for diabetics or even people who really had a lot of weight to lose. Now it's just being handed out like candy. And yeah, I don't know that I agree with that. Like I'm all for, if you want to be skinny, if you have a certain aesthetic in mind, totally get it. Um, but I also don't I don't want to condone actual ED behavior, and I can see how people who are already prone to it, to having EDs, like the Mormon wife star, yeah, this could be really dangerous, especially if doctors are just giving it out to you. I know some of you in my comments have been like, "Oh, you don't even need doctors anymore to give it out." I guess, is that true? You can just get it anywhere now? Um, I mean, it doesn't surprise me because pharmaceuticals, health system, it's all a business. They're all making so much money from it, so much money from it. So that's why they don't care about people's health. Let's see. At Page, there's a stigma now to having any weight. And a stylist told Page Six, added a top Hollywood dermatologist. My female clients have been microdosing GLP-1s for a long time now. Body positivity was over the minute GLP-1s started flooding the market. Yep. Yeah, that's pretty obvious. We saw that. It costs less to microdose. It's more tolerable on your body, and you still let yourself eat, although perhaps not enough. you know, Yeah, it sounds like a wonder drug, doesn't it? It's funny. I just made a short today, like joking about how GLP-1 is looking really good because, yeah, I'm trying to slim down for my wedding, and obviously the closer you get to your ideal weight, or when you're already like on the thinner side, it gets harder. It gets harder and harder to lose the weight. And I'm not even trying to lose like a ton, but I just want to be a little bit slimmer. And it's like, man, if I just had something that could just shut my appetite off, that would be awesome. But the thing is, this is always going to be true in life and anything. If something seems too good to be true, it usually is. Okay. And I guarantee, well, we're already seeing it. We're already seeing bad side effects from this medication. It's not meant to be taken long term. I really don't think anyone. I mean, some people have to take some medication long term, obviously, but I think ideally most medications are not meant to be taken long term. They're just not, they're not good for you. Anyway, here is Demi Moore. Yeah, she looks, yeah, she looks very thin there. Yeah, I mean, I definitely would think it is Ozempic. Yeah. So, from what I've been reading, I don't know that it's like Ozempic. Ozempic itself, like, oh, automatically targets your muscle stores and um gives you like the gaunt face and all that. But I don't know that there's any proof it does that. But it's more so because I guess when people right, like, you already have a less appetite, and if you're not already doing healthy things, like you're not working out, you're already not eating like a really healthy or balanced diet, you're just eating less of whatever crap you're eating, you're not gonna get the right nutrients, right? You're gonna get even less of those nutrients, and so it's gonna contribute more to muscle wasting, and if you're not exercising to lose weight, again, that contributes more to muscle wasting, so you're gonna have more of like a frail, gaunt look than you would if you were losing weight naturally and healthily and working out and still eating a proper amount of nutrients. Um, yeah, so I can see why that could be an issue. Celebrity nutritionist Jessie Barker told Page Six she's recently noticed visible signs of muscle wasting in several celebrities where it wasn't present before: hollow temples, full clavicle showing, shoulder blades jutting out. I mean, my shoulder blades jut out. So do my clavicles. It's just the way I'm built. I have like zero body fat on my upper half pretty much and my waist. And then I carry all my weight in my arms and my thighs. So I don't know. Some people will look at my clavicles and be like, oh, ED. In a clinical setting, these changes from baseline are cause for alarm. They can indicate malnutrition, meaning the body isn't getting enough of what it needs to function. One A-list stylist told Page Six that those who dress the stars are in an awkward position right now. They want their clients to look their best, but they also want them to be healthy, and they fear some celebs are blind to how painfully thin they are. You can't tell these actresses they're too skinny, the A-list stylist said. They'll just say, but another actress is smaller than I am. I can see how that could be a thing for sure in that world. It's like it becomes like a competition almost, or you're afraid, well, if so and so got thin and she got that part, maybe that means I need to get thin or thinner just to keep up. I could see that. I could see how it could be kinda turn into like a little toxic thing. This is Jenna Ortega. Um, People were saying that she got that surgery, the buccal fat. She may have. I think, it does look like it in her case. There were some other more like severe pictures showing that. Again, she was already thin, so I don't know what we're, comparing it to, but I wouldn't be surprised if she's on Ozempic. Indeed, another celeb stylist said there's real pressure too for stars to keep up with each other. One actress sees another one get smaller, then another one goes even smaller. But as much as actresses want to show off their prominent clavicles, some dressers are finding creative ways to cover them up. I would throw a jacket on to make it not exposed to compensate. An in-house stylist for a major fashion designer told Page Six, sometimes we make a strapless dress, we layer it with a shirt underneath, we put a coat on or a little jacket. Yeah, I noticed that. I noticed that like in the For Good, the Wicked movie with Ariana Grande. It seemed like a lot of her clothing was styled to hide a lot of her thinness, I think. Meanwhile, the owner of a Hollywood showroom that's particularly popular at this time of year said seamstresses are busier than ever because even the size 2 designer samples are too big for celebs. It's another one. Let's see. We actually brought in some great tailors and cutters we know, installed them in a back room, and created an atelier to fit gowns coming from Europe right off the runway. They mostly all had to be taken in this award season, the showroom owner said. Ultimately, it's not just weight loss drugs fueling the new super skinny trend. They're supplementing weight loss with face surgery. The former Vogue editor told Page Six even 20 somethings are getting buccal fat removal surgery, which removes fat pads above the jawbones to hollow out their cheeks. I That really does not make sense to me because especially when you're young, because that's literally why women, when they get older, they get face filler, is because you naturally lose that when you get older. So what do you do? I don't understand. Why would people do that? It's just very strange to me. Chrissy Teigen has copped to having the procedure, while there are countless Reddit threads speculating on other celebs who may have had it. But insiders warn that as you get older, weight loss can create a problem of sagging excess skin. Well, I mean, Yeah, but you can get that at any age. I mean, it's mostly um, like extreme weight loss, right? Like 100 pounds, maybe less than that. I don't know, but definitely, I have loose skin, but that's more with extreme weight loss. Or I guess if you are like, really old. If you're of a certain age, you have to worry about your skin. You're not a rubber band that bounces back. Jose Rodriguez, a stylist who's worked with SZA, is it SZA? Is that how she pronounces it? I don't know. Gwen Stefani and Becky G said. I'm so old. He points out that actresses aren't just making their names and fortunes on screen. Lucrative deals with fashion houses and beauty brands are highly coveted in Hollywood. When it comes to a brand deal, designers are very selective. There's only so many types of Lizzos that people want to work with, he said, noting that even Lizzo has lost 60 pounds. They only give that curvy platform to one or two people at a time. Nobody wants to look like JLo anymore. No more big butt. It's all about fashion skinny from 2001, Rodriguez said. There's Lizzo. Yeah, she looks a lot better. Looks really pretty there. So they're just talking about the brand deals. Let's see. Rodriguez, for one, believes the fashion world is thrilled that thin is in again after the reckoning of the body positive, size inclusive movement. Fashion houses are turning this around. People are so tired of this woke S, HIT, he said. They're over it. It came to a point where it's too far, too. Fashion houses are doing what they want. Is that Who's that? Oh, for some reason I thought that was Kate Moss. I was like, wow, she looks so different. No, that's Kate Moss down there. Okay, that makes more sense. The former Vogue editor and stylist told Page Six they worry the blurred lines are running too thin. There's a lot of pressure for them to be thin. Where do you stop? When is thin too thin? In fashion in Hollywood, you're always chasing. You're too young, too old, too short, too tall, blonde. It breeds an environment of never being enough, she said. Once you are thin, the chase doesn't stop. You keep thinking, what else can you improve? Well, unfortunately, I think that is Hollywood and has always been Hollywood. And with social media, yeah, it doesn't make it, any better or any easier. Yeah, can people get too obsessed with this stuff? Sure. I think, you got to focus on yourself and what looks best for you and what works best for you. When I see some of these celebrities, I'm like, I don't even know that I want to look like you, though. You know what I mean? I think we just have to all set our own standards for ourselves and not feel pressure to look like someone else. That's someone else, right? That works for them. I think that we can work on being the best version of ourselves and looking our best without going to some of these extremes. Okay, now let's dive into this video that Jubilee did with Jillian Michaels, the trainer from The Fattest Loser, and 20 body positivity people. So like I said, you guys have been asking me about this one. I have seen different clips about it. Yeah, so I think it's gonna be an interesting one. We're not gonna watch all of it because it's a long one, but I'll just kind of jump around and yeah, let's just see what we think.
Obesity is not healthy, and pretending it is puts lives at risk.
If you want to be the first debater, get to the chair in 3, 2, 1.
Hi. I'm Edie.
Nice to meet you.
I'm an eating disorder therapist. I'm going to do my best to not use the O word because I find it pretty offensive. So I'm going to use fat bodied as we talk.
Okay.
Do you understand why people find it harmful and triggering?
Overweight and obese is literally just having too much body fat. It has nothing to do with the quality of the person.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
You guys, overweight and obese now are bad words. That's harmful. So fat-bodied. That's a better way of putting it. I mean, back in the day, someone calling you fat, saying you were fatty, a fat-bodied person, that would have been more the insult. The kinder, nicer way would have said someone who was overweight or obese. But now that's a slur. I'm just like, oh my God. We're not even a minute in. Not even a minute in.
Are we going to debate the claim?
Yeah,
Or
I just
are
wanted
we
to.
Gonna,
Yeah, I wanted to clarify though the
are
language.
we going to pretend like I'm a 3 and you're my mommy, telling me how to talk?
Wow. Okay.
Okay.
So the claim
They get so offended so easily.
that you're saying is that it is inherently unhealthy to live in a fat body.
It's inherently unhealthy to have excess body fat. Yes.
Okay. Where are you getting that information from?
Oh, okay. There are dozens
Okay, let's see. Fact check. Let's see what they're saying here. According to the World Health Organization and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, excess body fat, particularly at levels classified as obesity, is associated with increased risk of type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, certain cancers, high blood pressure, and premature death. However, body fat is not the only determinant of health. Physical activity, diet quality, genetics, and metabolic markers also play major roles.
Of MRT trials that show having excess body fat, dozens, is causal, not correlated.
No, that's not true. There is no disease that just fat-bodied people get.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. But obesity lends itself to all-cause mortality across the board. Have you heard of something called adiposopathy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you know it means literally sick fat. And you understand how it works?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, tell me how it works.
So it's additional layer of fat in the stomach area.
No, that's not what it is. It works as follows. When we eat too much food that has energy that we're not utilizing, the body needs to put that energy somewhere, right? So it puts it in fat cells. So it puts it in initially subcutaneous fat cells, a little bit of visceral fat, which is fat around the organs. And at first you have hyperplasia, which means we're recruiting new little fat cells, which isn't necessarily a bad thing up to a point. Now, the issue is that once you can no longer recruit more fat cells, right, you get hypertrophy. So the fat cells start to expand. And this is exceptionally dangerous because what ends up happening is the blood vessels get outpaced. So the fat cells can't get oxygen and they start screaming, literally. And when they do, they release cytokines, inflammatory.
People shaking their head. I love that Jillian Michaels came prepared with all of this. I mean, look, the conversation can just end right there. People know it's bad for you. These stupid body positive people, they want it. No, well, actually, it's not, and there's no evidence to show that. No, there's plenty of freaking evidence. Okay, like I'm just tired of even having to be nice to them and beat around the bush. Like, you know damn well that being too fat causes health problems. Okay. Does it mean that everyone who's fat will get all the issues associated with being fat? No, of course not, right? Does it also mean that skinny people can't also be unhealthy? Of course not. But you know what? We already know from the evidence, from statistics, when you are overweight or obese, these things are more likely to happen. Obesity-related deaths, I think, are the highest number or cause of death now in the US. There's some ungodly amount of people who die per year because of obesity-related causes.
Proteins, right?
I want to pause.
Of course you do want to pause. Okay. Because it's irrefutable. You don't even know what I'm talking about. So,
Jillian, okay, first of all, I don't appreciate the way that you're speaking to me. You called me out for just trying to understand the languaging and saying I was talking to like a 3-year-old. I felt like I was talking to you very respectfully. You're talking to me very disrespectfully right now.
Here's the thing.
And I want to...
You're telling me you understand it, but you don't understand it. You fundamentally didn't describe it accurately.
But what I understand is that...
What's lipotoxicity?
I don't want to talk about... I am not... Okay, here, I'm going to say this straight out. I am not a medical doctor, okay? So I'm not going to talk...
Well, there we go. There we go. She just admitted it. You're not a medical doctor. Okay. So when Jillian's not either, but when she's using medical terms, you don't understand it. And so then you're going to say, oh, well, I know for sure because blah, blah, blah. Well, but the science doesn't say that. The doctors don't say that. And you're not a doctor. So how are you going to sit there and say that you know what's best and you know everything? You don't.
You about medical diagnosis because that's outside my scope and I'm fully willing I'm fully willing to be wrong. What I am here to talk to you about is the fact that people in fat bodies are irreparably harmed going into the medical system every single day because of the term the O word.
So that's what you want to litigate?
Yeah.
Okay, that's not the claim though.
The idea that fat bodied
Because she knows she's wrong. That's the thing. She's turning it around because she knows she's wrong. Like they won't actually just admit it.
People are inherently unhealthy is, I believe, incorrect.
You're wrong.
No, I'm not wrong.
There's a robust amount of data.
I'm not wrong.
Okay, so let me finish the thought.
You can't look.
You are wrong. You are wrong. You can look at someone and see if they're unhealthy or not.
And let me finish the thought.
Let me finish my thought first,
Okay.
please.
Sure.
You can't look at a person's body and tell whether or not tell their health status.
So fat is an endocrine organ. When it overgrows, it does wreak havoc in the body. I didn't finish telling you what happens. So when the oxygen can't get to those fat cells, they'll die and they'll rupture. And then the immune system starts dumping macrophages in to try to clean it up.
But do you know what's
But they
even more
can't clean it
unhealthy
up.
is weight cycling. And as we talked about earlier,
Oh my God. Oh my, this is always one of their claims. Oh, but it's more unhealthy to do yo-yoing and weight cycling. BS. BS. I really give to Jillian Michaels. She's being so calm.
only except for your
That is
your
not
people
the
who
claim. If you want to talk about that claim, we can. The claim is
So then what are
that
you supposed
having-
to do though? So let's say this person is in a fat body and they are inherently unhealthy, right? We're telling they're unhealthy because they're in this
the
fat
vast
body.
majority
What are
of
they supposed to
people will
do?
be more
Lose the weight. I mean, what are they supposed to do? Eat healthier? Exercise?
significantly more prone to all-cause mortality. For me,
Intentional weight loss fails 95 to 98% of the time.
Because people go back to their old habits. Okay. Because people don't really understand how to do it and what it takes to be successful and to sustain it. And I don't say that from like, oh, people are just stupid and this and that. I understand it's hard. All right. I've had to do it. I've had to do it a couple times now, and I get it. Weight loss is hard, and it's not, unfortunately, it's not necessarily inherent knowledge. Definitely, if you grow up in those patterns, it's very hard to get out of that pattern. But that is what it is at the end of the day. You've got to lose weight. You've got to exercise. You've got to eat less. What what really gets me is like, so all of these, these fat activists, I'm sure someone's going to say it at some point. Oh, set weight point theory. And some people are just meant to be fat. They're just meant to be obese. It's like, if that were true, then why is it, number one, that everyone is dying of obesity? And number two, where were all the obese people back in the day? Okay, obesity, like it exists now, did not exist even 60 years ago, 70 years ago, 80 years ago, 90 years ago. It didn't exist, all right? An obese person was like an enigma because lifestyles were incredibly different, okay? People didn't eat as much. We know this. People eat way more, okay? They don't exercise as much. But still, people are like, I don't know. Obesity is a disease. It just came out of nowhere. I don't know. It's like, how do we solve this problem? Are we not going to point to the correlation between the amount that people are eating these days, how they're not exercising, the kinds of foods we're eating? It's just so obvious. And then you sit there and say, "Oh, it's just how you're meant to be." It's not how you're meant to be. You're fat, right? You weigh that much because of how you eat. That's what it comes down to.
Time. So what
Tell
is
me
the
why though? You would probably know this better than me.
because weight is not
Oh, let's see. Fact check. There is no strong scientific evidence supporting a universal 95 to 98% failure rate. Research shows many people regain weight over time, but outcomes vary depending on how success is defined. One comprehensive review published in American Psychologist found that about 1/3 to 2/3 of dieters regained more weight than they lost in long-term follow-ups, and it did not support a precise 95 to 98% failure figure. Oh, interesting. Well, it's interesting that Jubilee is like fact checking on Jillian's side more than the body positive side. I mean, they love to use that claim. Well, that's people regain it. That's just how it's supposed to be, without really diving deep into it and without taking a more nuanced approach to it. Like, yeah, people who do like the lemonade diet for 2 weeks and lose 30 pounds in a month because they were only drinking lemon juice and cayenne pepper. Yeah, they'll probably gain the weight back after they're off that diet because it's not sustainable. I admit that weight loss is not, it's not as simple as just eat less and move more. I mean, it is, but it's not, right? There's so much more that goes into it. But that is basically how it works. You have to eat less calories than you burn to tap into your fat stores to lose weight. It is achievable. It can be sustainable, but it does take having the right knowledge and having the right support system and knowing what to do to make it sustainable.
an individualistic pursuit. You narrow it down to this idea that it's causal, like that they're just not trying hard enough. But that
I
is
didn't say that. It's multifactorial, unquestionably. A lot of people lose weight. The problem, right, is that they put it back on. Are we in agreement?
yes.
Okay, great. What do you think?
Okay, we got to pause there.
God damn it. All right.
I'm sorry.
John.
Okay, we're going to move on to claim number 2. Large food companies are the primary beneficiaries of the body positivity movement. Oh, I believe that. Let's listen.
Companies are one of the primary beneficiaries of the body positivity movement.
Oh, okay. So let's go to the
I'm
claim.
trying.
The claim that body positivity is primarily benefiting big food companies.
I mean
If that's-
financially.
I got it.
Because individual benefit, I can't, it's not quantifiable. I'm talking about the way these bastards are manipulating this message.
Right.
To
Okay.
do things
So-
that I think are very unethical.
So if body positivity is feeding their profits, will we see their profits reduce as this pendulum swing away from body positivity continues to go back to the, like I get asked all the time as the director.
What's interesting is now I think some of the big food corps, I read somewhere they're actually trying to make food that is resistant to GLP-1. So that's one thing. But I think that another industry is doing really well. Okay, pharmaceutical and the health industry, they're making a lot of money off of this. So will the food industry suffer? I don't know. They'll probably just start making GLP-1 friendly snacks, or they'll start doing more diet snacks again, like we had back in the early 2000s.
Director of NAFA, is body positivity over? Is body positivity over because of Ozempic? Is body positivity over because of MAHA? Is body positivity over? Part of my argument is it depends on what you're in body positivity for. If you're in it for systemic change, it ain't over because the system ain't changed, right? But I do concede the point that we are moving away from some of what we saw as body positivity for the last 10, 15 years.
And what do you mean by
As
that?
we
Sorry.
move away from that, it's less popular, it's less
Oh, I
trendy.
understand.
We're
Okay.
moving more towards a thin-centric ideal again, or leaving behind. We've labeled body positivity DEI, and we're turning away from that. Whatever. As we move away from that, are we going to
Okay.
see the profits of these food industries drop?
Well, you are.
Why would you need to make food
Sorry.
genetically addictive if body positivity can just sell that food? If you could just tell people when you feel good in your body, you're going to eat all the Nabisco snacks that you want to, then why do we have to make them addictive?
They don't even.
What does she mean by that? Why do we have to make them addictive? They're addictive, and that's why people are fat to begin with. Okay, now people are trying to cope by making themselves feel better about being fat because they can't stop their addiction, right? Because they don't want to stop eating, or because it's very hard for them to stop eating. So yes, the food is engineered to be addictive. I don't know why that this is even an argument. I can't even imagine that. I don't know. Do people in the body positive? I guess yeah. They don't believe in food addiction, right? They're like, oh, anti-diet, food addiction is just stupid. It's just all caused by restriction. No, it's not. The food is addicted. That's why you're fat, right? But I guess they just don't want to admit that the reason they're fat is because they eat too much. That has to be it, right?
I want you to stop eating one chip. This is how incremental they are about this. They literally engineer.
That sounds
okay. Just hear me out. They don't even want you to have to stop and take a drink of water when you're eating their chips. So they engineer how much fat is in your mouth in each bite. There are a team of multidisciplinary scientists that literally work around the clock, 24/7, day after day, year after year.
Their body positivity scientists.
No.
What I don't understand. What is this body positive person? What is she going on about? I mean, I didn't know that they didn't believe that. That's so crazy to me. So they don't believe that food corps are bad. They don't believe that. That's kind of crazy to me. I don't know. I'm just now learning this.
So this is the thing.
No, I'm
right?
saying
What you're
they
describing
want
is a
no
misuse
friction.
of science.
Yeah.
What you're
Yes.
describing is,
Yes.
what you're
They want
describing
no
is
friction.
business. What you're describing is capitalism. What you're
Yes.
describing is greed.
Yes. I'm
Body
happy to indict
positivity
that.
is not the reason for that.
No, that's understandable. She's right. Body positive is not the reason for that. But what Jillian is saying is that the food companies are benefiting off of that, though. And then they're loving the body positive movement. So they're going to push it more because, hey, it's making them money. Because if people don't care about being fat, they like being fat, they think being fat's healthy, they'll just keep eating. So that's the whole point. I don't know how she's missing the point.
No, I'm suggesting that I think you guys should get pretty freaking vocal and pissed because these guys are actively manipulating your message. So much, I haven't even gotten to half the shit that they do. So for example, they have effectively lobbied to remove nutrition guidelines and warning labels on food packaging because of harmful shame.
Wow. Wow. I didn't know that was happening. I mean, that sounds like something the body positive movement would go for though, for sure. Like, oh yeah, we don't want to make people feel bad about calories. So we're going to take, the calories off the labels. Again, the food corps, they love this. Okay. They love this. They're not your freaking allies, people. They're using you. They're benefiting off of it.
Trans fats are bad for your health.
Okay, but
It's a fact.
they have advocated for that. The body
Yes,
positivity movement, the
they're
fat activist movement, they're
your
using our language,
messaging.
right? Like you
Yes.
said,
How is she not understanding that?
co-opting,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So they should stop co-opting our shit.
But they're not going to. But
Okay.
yes, that's what I'm
Okay,
saying.
so how do we
I
build
think
more?
you guys should get pissed about it. Like I get the things you're pissed at.
We are pissed
I-
about a lot of
I
things.
get it.
This
Can you
is a-
add this
it's a
to the list?
long
Add
list.
this.
This
I'm saying they're the primary. You want to
And
indict someone?
it is on the
Indict
list.
these.
It is on the list for some people who
Okay, claim number 3. The body positivity movement oversimplifies disordered eating and trauma.
Hi.
I've been on a diet since I was like 6.
Okay.
You've talked a lot about trauma, being molested,
Mhm.
parents, this and that.
Yes.
I've heard of someone mention the BMI. I've heard people use the word obese.
Okay.
So what is your thought on this oversimplification? I think actually the medical industry and a lot of health professionals have oversimplified.
I'm sorry if that's happened to you. I think you're seeing the wrong people. I know a lot of really good people.
But that's also privilege. Of course, you know a lot of good people. You're a rich white woman who's been on television. And I would love to know, somebody
A lot of
mentioned
them
the
write
show.
books.
Totally.
A lot
I
of
could read a
them-
book. I've read a lot of diet books, Jillian.
Not a diet book.
Or whatever. What kind of book? A self-help book.
Well, I mean, if you're struggling with an eating disorder and you're telling me I have no access to
Well, how do
any
I know if I'm
expert,
struggling with an eating disorder? Where does genetics play into all of this?
do you want to take on genetics? We can.
Go ahead. Are you a scientist?
Do you think you have to be a scientist to
No,
understand?
but
the
I
way
haven't heard
genetics
one
work?
comment about where do genetics
Well,
play
that's
in.
that's not the claim. If you want to get into genetics and
Repeat
obesity,
the claim again.
the
First of all, obesity is
claim-
a very outdated term. It's based on the BMI,
Oh, she's going to be a trip.
which is based on white
it's
men
actually
in this. Come on, Jillian. You could be single-handedly responsible for updating the BMI.
okay. But we also have waist to hip, and we have DEXA, and we have MRI.
Yeah, but let's be honest.
So
what are the
BMI
MRI, meaning
you
like
don't
the
even-
machine most fat people don't even fit in?
Number 1, okay, machine most fat people don't even fit in. I think that's a red flag right there. Okay, if you can't fit into something like a medical device, that's again, but they're not going to take that as a sign that maybe something needs to change. But yeah, it's just so interesting. They love to talk about the BMI, and sure, it's not perfect, but basically all it shows is that, hey, you know what? We found that people over this amount of weight, they tend to have more problems. That's just basically what it is. Doesn't mean that it's going to be perfect all the time. And yeah, it doesn't take into account your lean muscle mass and skeletal weight, all of that. But that's just what they found is that, hey, overall general population, people who are over this weight, they have more of these problems. And that's all it really shows. For a lot of people, it's pretty accurate. Okay. For a lot of people, it's pretty accurate. But it's always just so interesting the people who fight the BMI scale. Number 1, they all tend to be overweight or obese. Apparently, I guess that's a slur now. Can't say that. But also, like, they are also the same people who, if there's someone who's really skinny, really thin, and maybe on the lower end of the BMI or underweight, well, they love to say that person's underweight and it's unhealthy. Compared to who says that though? What the BMI scale? The BMI scale that you said isn't accurate. So if that's not accurate, then how can we tell if someone's underweight? Maybe underweight is a slur now. Maybe underweight doesn't exist. Okay. Oh, well, I can just tell by looking at them. Oh, can you? Well, but wait, I thought that we couldn't tell by looking at people whether or not they were healthy. So if we look at someone who really does have a problem, okay, with undereating, I like, okay, they're talking about these celebrities now, Ariana Grande, Eugenie Cuney, whoever. I guess that we can't say that they're underweight now because that doesn't exist. Maybe they really are healthy because they're claiming they are, just like you are claiming you're healthy. So that's what I would like to know. I'd like to ask them what their thoughts on are people being too skinny, because they love to talk about, oh, people are just getting too skinny now and it's toxic and it's harmful. But I don't understand that they have no problem admitting that being too skinny is harmful, but they can't see how being too fat is harmful. That doesn't exist apparently.
You have DEXA and you
I've
have
never heard of
waist to
that,
hip.
girl. What's a DEXA?
DEXA
These
scan.
are normal people. We are on TikTok.
Okay, how about waist to hip?
Hold on. There's also been a lot
Waist
of
to
like
hip
blame,
ratio?
sure, waist to hip ratio, but that's also like skeletal and like how do you,
No, waist to hip is not. It has to do with a ratio of your waist to your hips, and it's evidence, sorry to say, of excess visceral fat. That's what it's for. And that's an indicator of obesity.
So obesity, that term, what does that mean to you?
Obesity, it means that you have an unhealthy percentage of body fat.
What is healthy? What is unhealthy? Like, what is the measure of health for human
For
beings?
women, I think it's in the 35 plus percentile.
35 plus percentile of what? By what measure? The DEXA?
35% of your body weight being comprised of body fat.
The thing that I think is most interesting is, and you didn't get to.
It's just interesting. You know, Jillian Michaels, she's coming here and she knows her stuff. Some of these people, yeah, they didn't even bother to look this stuff up. It's like, if you're going to debate someone about this, at least know your stuff. At least have some kind of argument to back up your claims. But she's saying, I don't even know what a DEXA scan is. 35 percentile of what? Girl, you're not making yourself look any better.
To earlier.
You didn't ask me earlier.
Well, I haven't gotten there. Is no, with someone else. You said, because I'm seeing a very different person than from who we've seen on television. And I think there's been a lot of blame shifting to influencers and TikTok. And the reality is, girl, that's where we're all getting our info now. I've never seen a full episode of The Biggest Loser because my parents told me to watch it. And I said, all the way off.
Right, but you have no rage at your parents whatsoever, right?
Oh, well, I'm not fat because of the age of my
all the way
parents.
off? That doesn't sound
Well,
like a primary wound telling your parents to all the way
But
off.
the
Is that
primary,
not evidence of what I'm saying?
totally primary wound plus genetics plus whatever choices I make in my life is where what you're
can I ask
seeing
you
now.
something? Pick the
Okay, so at least she admitted that. Choices you made in your life. Okay.
argument we want to have. Do you want to have a debate?
I want
Do
to
you
hear
wanna
who
discuss
you are on the
genetics?
show, who that person is and was,
Okay.
and who this person is now. Because
Same
I'm seeing
person. It's not at all. Can I say something? You just told me you never watched an episode of Biggest
Oh, but
Loser.
I've seen TikTok clips. I saw the documentary. I mean, who hasn't?
have you ever seen
Again, that's not a great argument. Oh, but I've seen clips. I've seen TikTok. But you've never actually watched an episode. I mean, again, we all understand today that people can clip anything together from any episode. You can clip, clips of my stuff together, and you can make me look like a total awesome person or a total horrible person, right? You can do that with anyone's stuff. So again, she's not making herself look very good here, or anyone in her movement.
a full episode? Let's say with one of my contestants like Abby Wright.
Tell me about the show. Tell me
Aguilar.
whatever. Tell me who you were on the show. Tell me where that Jillian Michaels. Because to be
I will,
honest,
but you
we've
gotta let
all
me talk.
Sure. For
Okay, I'm the exact same person that you see now.
it.
Now, of course, yes, you would see parts of what I was doing. You would never see the entire picture of what I was doing, and you would never understand why I was doing it. So let me address the part that you're thinking of, okay? I had a contestant, 500 pounds. This contestant in particular had an exceptionally traumatic background. Can I tell you about it, or you don't care? Okay. So her mother was a prostitute.
A sex worker, we say now.
Her mother was a sex worker. If that makes you feel.
Okay, what? This is new. So is that a bad term now? I don't know. This is all new to me.
Sex
Safer.
work is real work.
Okay. That's a separate debate. And I'm not, let's stay on point. Let's stay on point before we get into all the woke ideology. So having said that, the contestant named Shay, her mother used to sleep with men for heroin while she was locked in a closet. And she's going to go home based on the percentages. I didn't make the game, not a producer. Very publicly had issues with the name and the gamification. So I don't want her to go home. And certain things need to happen before I feel, and I have seen, that there would be any hope of her being able to live past 40 years old. And she has all of the things: type 2 diabetes, the beginnings of chronic kidney disease, arterial plaque, all the things that are legitimately alarming. So I can't get her on this freaking ladder. It's day one. Can't get her on for 15 seconds. Tried everything. Cannot get her on this ladder for 15 seconds. And we're playing this out and we're playing it out, not getting anywhere. Because the story is, I'm weak, I'm fat, I'm worthless, I'm this, I'm that, all the internalized shame. And at that moment, I pretty much tried everything. What you don't see is this has gone on for about 4 hours and I can't get her on the freaking ladder. She comes in the room and I'm like, all right, that's it. I'm like, God damn it, get on this freaking ladder. I swear to God, get on the ladder or you're going to go home. Get on the freaking ladder. Going crazy. And I'm utilizing her fear of me, quite honestly, to circumvent the story that she thinks is true. Long story short, she gets on the ladder. She climbs 15 seconds. Show up the next day. She's like, I got back on the ladder for 15 minutes last night. I was like, that's awesome, dude. And she ended up losing 300 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So you may not agree.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Sometimes tough love is the only thing that does it. I know that's how it is for me. I mean, all of this, mumbo jumbo, oh, love yourself and take it easy and this and that. Look, I always say there's a time to give yourself grace for sure, but there's also that time to give yourself a kick in the teeth. All of us need that sometimes. Sometimes it's only when someone is just straight up with you, when someone's screaming in your face, even if it's just yourself telling you, you know what, we're effing done with this. You have to be so fed up with yourself. You have to have someone give it to you in a way that wakes you up, even if you hate them. All right. Even if you hate them, even if it makes you upset, even if it, it makes you angry, but if it makes you change, then it's worth it. Right.
Agree with it.
Mm-hmm.
But it worked for me and it worked for Shay in that moment. You don't know why I'm doing it. You don't understand that it's a life or death intervention on a ticking clock. You don't understand all the other things I've tried.
Mm.
So I kind of don't care what you guys
How much
think.
of her weight did she gain back?
She gained, well, oh, good one.
Because
No, no, hold on.
95% of diets don't work.
Not
Okay.
my contestants. 35% of them kept the weight off, which is actually exceptional. And I could give you all the names. If 5% are able to keep it off,
Mhm.
there are obviously a myriad of reasons as to why that's the case.
Mm-hmm.
But if I had a 35% success rate, can you at least concede that maybe I'm doing a little bit better than the norm?
So what I also want to know too, I'd love to ask these body positive people, like, okay, so they're basically saying, well, she should just live fat because she'll just gain it back, and there's nothing wrong with her being fat, and she should just be able to do what she wants to do, and why even push people to lose weight? Let's let them be, okay? Number one, I just think that most fat people actually just don't want to be fat. Okay. I think they do want to actively lose it. They are not happy being fat. But number two, it's like Jillian was saying, okay, this woman was probably not going to live past 40. She had all these issues. So yeah, I was trying to get her to lose weight. I'm going to try any method I can to get her to lose weight. So what would this body positive person say? Like, should she not try to lose weight at all? I don't understand. Like, if you know that your health is at risk and you might not live past 40, are you just supposed to, just given the towel because obesity is a slur and, I shouldn't have to lose weight. And that's mean to tell someone that they have to lose weight, even if they're going to die. I don't know. I don't understand that mindset. And then of course her thing is like, well, how much did she gain back? But is that even the point though? I mean, for sure. Yeah. I mean, if like we said, a lot of people do gain it back because it's harder than just, oh, okay, you lose the weight and then you keep it off forever. Cause you have to, we go into this all the time on the channel. Like, you have to maintain it, but I don't know. Should she not have even tried? Is that her point, that she should have just not even tried and then just accepted that she would die at 40? I don't understand that mentality. It's like, clearly this woman was miserable. She's 500 plus pounds. Has all these health issues. So she shouldn't try to better herself. Do they want that for other people? I don't understand. But then Jillian Michaels or other people who you try to get them to lose weight, they're bad people and they're not successful because, oh, well, your clients, they gained weight afterwards. Like, it's just such a weird logic.
Than the baseline.
I can agree that the number one celebrity trainer in the entire world has a success rate That I can concede
You
to.
said keep it off. They kept it off. I got the weight off.
30% of people that went on a public TV show.
All right, we got to pause there. We are out of time.
My final surrounded claim is that the body positivity movement is fundamentally disempowering.
Hi, Solstice.
Hi, lovely to meet you.
So you said something about it being inherently disempowering because you don't believe you can make changes, right? Am I
No, I'm
misunderstanding?
suggesting that there is no framework. There's no, now that we've accepted where we are today, what can we take responsibility for and how can we take action?
Yeah, because that is part of the body positivity. Like, they don't want you to have to improve anything. It's like you're just supposed to accept whatever. I guess, you know, the fact that you might die at 40 because of your health issues. If you have a little bit of flab, a little bit of this, you have to love everything. You have to love everything. You can't exercise to lose weight. You can't exercise to look good. You're not allowed to do that. You can't diet to look good. You can't improve upon anything about yourself. Except they'll wear makeup and they'll get Botox and stuff. That's okay. But go to the gym for any other reason other than for your health, or even if it is for your health, because wait a minute, being fat's healthy. So if you go to the gym to be healthy, wait a minute, then you're saying people who don't go to the gym are not healthy. You see, like the logic, it does not logic.
Sure. So are you familiar, you brought up a quote of your own. Are you familiar with the quote, "To those accustomed to privilege, equality can feel like oppression"? Do you understand how weight is interactive and intersectional with all these other identities? When somebody is a fat person, it intersects with other aspects of the world that have marginalized them.
Give me examples.
Example of a person or?
No. Of how you're feeling, in ways you feel marginalized.
Me?
And listen, who are you speaking for?
Anyone. I don't think it's about a specific person. I think when you say that it is important to take responsibility for what you can change, you have seemed to have acknowledged that at the beginning, at that first stage of acceptance or of understanding, that you are trying to acknowledge that you can't hate yourself into a version of yourself that you can love.
No, not really, no.
You can't.
But what I do think, hear me out, I do think that when you are feeling pain or shame, it is a signal to explore. I do
Absolutely.
think that.
And I appreciate that you're coming at this from a place that involves the mental health as well. It sounds like you would be pro therapy and pro understanding where these roots come from.
Yes.
But again, you can't change yourself. You can't go into changing yourself from the expectation that that will make you feel better about anything. And I don't think.
But it will. But it will. I mean, I don't even think that she knows what she's talking about. She just seems like she's dancing around any kind of point she's trying to make. No, changing yourself will make you feel better. And sometimes you feel like crap, and that's a signal, like Jillian said, it's a signal that maybe something needs to change. I mean, yeah, like if you just hate everything about yourself and you continue to hate yourself even when you make changes, I mean, yeah, you have some issues, and you should be doing all kinds of work, not just exterior work, for sure. But for sure, we know on this channel, something simple as losing weight, putting some makeup on one day, doing hair, it can make you feel better instantly, right? It really can. Sometimes you have to work on yourself. I think that we are always a work in progress. I don't think we were ever meant to just stay the same. So yeah, I mean, I don't think that is good advice to tell people to just stay the same, never try, never work on themselves, never improve themselves. And I don't think that it's good advice to tell people that they don't need to improve themselves. I think we all need to improve ourselves in some way. No one's perfect person. I think that's why we're here on earth, is to become the best version of ourselves. Sometimes that means losing weight. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it has nothing to do with our looks, but it can be in other areas of our life. And yeah, so I agree that it is incredibly disempowering to tell people that they shouldn't change, or that it's toxic for them to want to change themselves.
That our choices to make changes about ourselves reflect more self-love necessarily. They can, I think, if you choose to take,
so I don't interrupt you. Please continue.
If you are choosing to take care of yourself, that comes from something within you that feels good for your body.
Okay.
And so the body positivity movement to me is not inherently about, it's not about taking, diet culture and just saying that is the root of all evil. It it amplifies the ways that we have been harmed and feel shame inside. It is a harmful thing that actively causes pain.
Talk to me about what you'd like to see change.
Diet culture eradicated.
It's not going to, though, buddy. And here's the thing.
Okay.
Hear me. It's just not. This is the world we live in, right?
So you think that's acceptable? We also live in a world of racism and homophobia.
Yeah,
I don't understand.
But all the more to my point, right? So think of it as follows. I would say there are probably millions of people that hate me. I get death threats all the time.
Me too.
Oh, well. It is what, but wait, just
So
hear me
that
out,
is
just
the
hear me
same,
out.
what you
No,
saying
no,
there is
Here-
acceptance.
Let me finish my thought. What I'm telling you is that I don't define my worth on the ways in which external.
Absolutely.
Okay,
No, fully agree with you
because
there.
I can't change that. I can change how I respond to it. I can change how I feel about it. But you are trying to change the world because something
I think the
is,
world needs to be changed.
and it does, but we can't rely on that for your feeling of well-being.
You're right, but we shouldn't rely on validation that we are thin enough either.
Who's relying on that?
Plenty of people.
Do you realize 74% of the country is overweight or obese?
All right,
Just
pause.
Look, I think it just comes down to the reality is most people do not want to be fat. Most people do not want to be unhealthy. Most people do want to be seen as attractive, not necessarily trying to compete with supermodels or celebrities, but they want to be seen as attractive. They want to fit in a little bit, okay? At least just a little bit. And I think that there is nothing wrong with that. And look, I love maybe the initial message of the body positivity movement, which is you don't have to be perfect. And we all come in different shapes and sizes and colors and aesthetics. And yeah, I agree. I've always said that I agree. But someone wanting to improve upon themselves, someone wanting to get a little bit thinner and maybe fit into the beauty standard a little bit more, doesn't mean they hate themselves. And it doesn't mean that someone telling you how to lose weight, how they did it, or how to, do better makeup, how to improve your hair, it doesn't mean that they're toxic for telling you how to do that. I mean, that's their logic, right? And that's what's interesting. And the woman on, right, she clearly had makeup on, right? She clearly had her own aesthetic. She clearly dresses that way because she thinks it looks really good for her. Again, if you're all about, well, just love yourself no matter what, then why even put makeup on? Why have an aesthetic? If you don't need to change anything, if you don't need to improve anything, then why even do what you do? I think it just comes down to they feel like they can't fit into the current beauty standard. And so they just don't want anyone else to either, right? Because maybe they, felt that they were made fun of or don't fit in, which I relate to because I know what that's like being the fat girl growing up for sure. But you can either accept what it is or you can change. You can change yourself. And I think that people would take that as oh, well, you shouldn't change yourself for other people. Like, oh, I'm not going to lose weight because people, they want me to lose weight because I don't want to conform to their standards and blah, blah, blah. I'm going to suck it to them. In actuality, no. In actuality, the people who are mean to you, the bullies, the people who are pushing the diet culture and all this, toxic stuff on you, they actually rely on you to stay fat and unhappy and not happy with yourself because that's how they get a rise out of you. That makes them feel better, right? I always say that bullies don't bully you to become a better person. People weren't bullying me and calling me fat and ugly because they were hoping that, one day she'll lose the weight just like I wanted her to. That's not why. They did it because they wanted to feel better than me. They did it because they're miserable themselves, and putting someone else down makes them feel like they're higher up, right? So when I actually lost the weight, that gave me more power. I did the exact opposite of what they wanted because now I'm the big kid in the playground, right? Now they can't say jack shit to me because I look better than them. And that's the other thing too. When you improve yourself, whether it's losing weight, improving your looks, improving anything about yourself, like I said, you become the top dog now, right? And it's not like, oh, I lost the weight so that all these people will just be my friends now and all the people who've made fun of me, they'll just accept me. No, that had nothing to do with it. I didn't just magically become friends with those people. I had my same friends. Okay. Like I wasn't an idiot. I wasn't, vying for their attention. I mean, yes, on some level, I wanted to lose the weight so that I wouldn't have to deal with the abuse that I dealt with on a regular basis and fit in more for sure. But I also think that, if anyone has been through the same kind of transformation I've been through, you understand from a better standpoint, like who are the people who would have treated you worse back then? You know what I mean? And so obviously you're going to gravitate towards your true friends, towards people who are not that way. So it's not like, oh, I just lost the weight so that I could just become friends with all these assholes. No, I lost the weight so I could prove that I'm better than them and that they couldn't hurt me, that they couldn't put me down, and that really at the end of the day, they kind of did me a little bit of a favor because it gave me the motivation I needed to become the best version of myself. So yeah, I definitely believe that there are parts of body positivity or the current body positivity that is disempowering actually, because it teaches you just to stay as you are. It teaches you to not want more for yourself. Yeah, and that's just a message I can't get behind. Anyway, guys, that's all I have for you today. Like I said, that's a long video. You can go check it out on Jubilee's website. It's like almost 2 hours long, I think. But it was definitely an interesting conversation. Jillian was definitely a lot calmer than I think I would have been. I don't know. This stuff just like it riles me up because it's so silly. But yeah, I did think it was interesting. Thank you to those of you who pointed it out to me. As always, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. I think that we all have such different experiences with this, and it is always so interesting for me to hear your own experiences. So I'd love to hear from you. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you guys next time.